For future.
All right, okay.
Okay. So talk about how you changed professions.
You know, I was fortunate enough out of college to get a really, really great job. I come from a successful family-owned business that was already established and you know, ready for me. So as soon as I graduated school, I went right to work for that. And I spent many years doing that, but that wasn't something that was my passion. It wasn't something that fulfilled me. You know, I didn't want to settle for something I didn't love doing. And, you know, as I developed my craft in fitness and as time progressed, I just started helping people away from work, doing this completely pro bono. And, you know, I would just because I wanted to help people, I would see somebody struggling at the gym or, wherever I would have these encounters, and I'd say, I can help you. You know, let me help you. I can get you results. And as I started helping people and started getting people results, it kind of snowballed. And one person either saw another person's results, or one person talked to another person, and you know, people started coming to me for help. And you know, I was more than happy to help. And as that progressed, I started to actually get clients, and I started to think, well, wait a minute, you know, this is something I could really do. Not only this is something I love, but this is what I am really, really good at, and this is what I was meant to do. So after a while, and after thinking about it, you know, I'm lucky to have a supporting family, and they knew that this was, you know, what I was meant to do. So I actually decided to leave, you know, the established company and go to work for myself, doing fitness. And it's been a year and a half, and I've been lucky enough to work with people all over the country, and you know, develop really, really awesome relationships with my clients, and you know, help people reach their fitness goals. And for me, that's what it's all about. It's not about you know, the bank account. It's not about you know, shit, I would do this for free, and I have done this for free for a very long time. So it's about, you know, doing what you love and doing your passion and helping people. That sounded pretty good. Yeah. Was I doing less right?
And you get lost in that world.
Yeah.
Did you ever feel lost when you were doing these drugs? Like, what was your motivation behind it?
Well, it's funny because, you know, when you're doing that stuff and you're younger, it's kind of all that you know. You know, and for me, it was like, if it felt good, I just wanted to keep doing it, and priorities and everything else would kind of just fall. And so, yeah, you're doing these things, and you know, every day, that's kind of all you're thinking about.
What are you talking about?
As far as drugs and drugs?
You have to reference that.
Okay.
You're kind of
Okay. You know, getting lost in that world of drugs and alcohol. You know, you're young. You're doing things that you know, you think everybody's doing, and for me, it was like if you know, if it felt good, then I was going to do it, and I was going to continue to do it. And you know, all priorities go, you know, away, and that's all you think about. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I really didn't know where I was at in life. You know, passions had come and gone. You know, I wanted to be a film director. That was my major passion. You know, I love movies. I love horror movies, and I wanted to make them. And so, you know, graduating school and you know, giving up these dreams that I had were all affected by, you know, drugs and alcohol. So it wasn't until I really got myself together and I got into fitness, and you know, and even then I didn't know what I wanted to do because I hadn't developed my knowledge and my body yet. So over time, I was able to use fitness to figure out what I wanted to do, because once I got addicted to that, there was no stopping it. And now, you know, now I want to share that with everybody else.
I'm assuming that they would want that, right?
Yeah, I'm sure they'd want anything that's first form. Talk about the natural bodybuilding.
What do you mean?
I don't know if
And try not looking at me, by the way.
Okay, I'm going right here.
There, wherever.
All right.
So, why fitness?
You know, it wasn't always fitness. In fact, it was the opposite of fitness. It was bars, drinking, drugs, really anything I could get my hands on. I have a really addictive personality, so you know, doing everything like that was for me. That's all I did. That's all I focused on. So fitness came to me at a really dark time. I was depressed. I have a lot of disorders, and I just, you know, I wasn't happy with myself and what I was doing, and I just accidentally started working out, and I didn't know what I was doing. I just started it, and it felt good, so it was something I, you know, just kind of started doing. And for me, if it feels good, I get addicted to it. So I started working out, and that really started to feed my addictive personality. I didn't know, you know, there was no end to it. The results were, you know, constant, and there's a lot of, you know, when you start, it's like anything else, there's a lot of trial and error. So, you know, as I was doing different things, I was learning, and actually fitness started to take over, and the drugs and the other stuff started to, you know, fall by the wayside. So it wasn't, you know, on purpose. And once I started, I realized, wow, this has really been good for me. It was good in every, you know, part of my life. When you're working on building your body, you can't help but get stronger mentally. So it started to help me with a lot of my disorders, depression, body dysmorphic disorder, you know, there's a lot of them. So, you know, that really started to help. And so that's why I like to share that with people, because I know what it's like. I know what it's like to be uncomfortable, and you know, to think there's just, you know, no hope, and to just feel like shit all the time.
So why do you want to help people though? Like what motivates you to help people?
You know, that's a great question. Ever since I was young, I was told that I like to help old people or handicapped people. My mom would tell me when I would see a handicapped person, I would just start to cry and say I would want to help them. So I think that's something that's ingrained in my DNA, is just to help people. When someone has a problem or something like that, I like to give an ear and help people through it. So fitness and training and coaching for me comes very naturally. It's something, you know, when I like something or something works for me, I want to share it. It's like if you get a really cool new product or you know, a new toy, you want to talk about it, you want to share it with people because it makes you feel good. So that's what I like to do. And again, I know what it's like to be where people are at, and I mean, I still fight. I fight it every day. You know, I have you know, clinical diagnosed depression and dysmorphic disorder, OCD. You know, I have a lot of stuff, and you know, this is something that's helped me through it, to the point where, you know, that stuff never goes away. It's just manageable, and fitness has been the greatest tool in my life, and I just want to share that with people. And it you know, it's very, very, it's great. It's great, and that's just something I like to give to people, because, you know, I've learned and developed this, you know, knowledge over the course of a decade or so. So to share that with people, that's what I live for.
So what other questions do you think? Like what were the people answering and the ones who won?
They weren't really answering shit. They were just like, hey, you know, they were kind of just talking about what they do. You know what I mean, on a daily basis, weren't they? I mean, it was kind of like, you know, there's you know, the guy was in a police car. Yeah. You know what I'm saying, or, you know, and the woman was, I don't know what though. She was in an office of some sort. You know.
120 clients, I know.
Yeah, yeah. So, I'm trying to think. I guess.
The years you spent, like.
Here's the thing. I look at everything I've done as experience. It's like going to college. For me, I didn't learn shit in college. College.
Don't look at me when you're saying this.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Good.
Where should I start?
Just from the beginning where you're at.
Okay. Here's the way that I look at it. Everything is experience. It's kind of like college. So for me, I didn't learn shit in college. All I learned in college was you practice problem solving. I learned everything from work and experience. So during that time, I learned a lot. I learned a lot of what not to do, and what I cannot do.
All right, so 2 sentences. Why fitness?
Well, it wasn't always fitness. It was not always fitness.
Here, you can look at me, by the way.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
But you can also look around, but
okay. Okay. Because that might not even be in it. You know, your question may not even be in it. It just might just be going. All right. I'm gonna go ahead.
So why fitness?
Well, it wasn't always fitness for me. Fitness came into my life, you know, over a decade ago, but before that, it was whatever I could get my hands on: alcohol, drugs. I have a very addictive personality, so fitness came into my life when I was really, you know, I had nothing left. And, you know, I really wasn't sure as to what I was going to do, and I started using fitness as a drug. It happened on accident. I just started, you know, lifting weights and everything like that.
Do you think fitness helped you overcome your drug addiction?
Absolutely.
Can you put my question into...
Absolutely, yeah. You know, once I start something, I get addicted to it. Now, fitness, for me, is about building, and when I start building, I get obsessive. And I kind of took that into other aspects of my life. So that's why I like to share fitness with people, you know, and that's why I preach fitness, is because it did for me great things, not just in building muscle. That's not what it's about. It's about building the body, but the mind follows as well. And so you can overcome anything and use fitness as a metaphor for anything else, because you're building yourself, so you're building your life, and you can't help but get stronger in every sense of the way.
So in what ways does fitness help people physically
Well,
and emotionally?
Well, you know, I know what it's like to be uncomfortable in my own skin, to not feel right, to not feel comfortable, whether you're going to the store or going out or being, you know, with people. You don't feel good, and sometimes it takes changing the outside to let who you are on the inside really come through. And watching that transformation and going through it for myself, you know, I wasn't confident. I didn't feel right, and so you know, I know what it's like. I know what it's like to have disorders, and so when people begin to build their body, they begin to be more comfortable with themselves, and it just is a snowball effect, and that gets better and better, and they start to shine a little bit, and they feel great. You know, they feel healthy, they feel vibrant, they feel alive. Not just their body changes, but their personality changes as well.
So how do you feel different from when you were on doing cocaine?
Well, first off, I'll say I don't have a halo around my head. I don't, you know, I don't bullshit. You know, nobody's perfect. However, it was very destructive, you know, and fitness, you know, you could get addicted to that like you could anything else, and too much of anything can be a bad thing, where it's consuming you, and nothing is ever enough. However, there is a great middle ground where you can actually, you know, it's the one thing where you can progress constantly. There's never an end to it. So by, you know, practicing, you know, using techniques and everything like that in building your body, it's not only a lot of fun, it's just endless progress. And you take that work ethic, because you're working, it's a lot of work, you know, and so you take that work ethic into other aspects of your life, whether it's your career, your family. You know, it helps you to be a better person all around.
Do you have like a closing that you would like to say to anyone watching this?
My closing is, you know, the reason I preach this, or, you know, do this for a living, because I did something completely different. This was not what I did.
How about maybe directly, you're like directly addressing these people, like, so to anyone out there who might not feel comfortable in their skin, who might like list things off and be like, there is change, you know, it happened for me, it can happen for you.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
I can help you.
Okay.
All right.
For anybody out there who just doesn't feel comfortable, who you know, it doesn't feel good to wake up in the morning. You feel unhealthy. You feel, you know, depressed, and you know, you just overall don't feel well and don't feel good about yourself. You know, that can change. I was there. I know what it's like. You know, I know what it's like to be that uncomfortable, to wake up, you know, completely defeated. And there is a way to change it, and fitness is a very great way. All it takes is starting, and like anything else, there's intimidation, and even gyms in themselves they're weird. You know, they're odd places, but it just takes getting started. And once you do, and once you have the proper knowledge introduced, there's nothing better, and it will help you in every other aspect of your life. So there is hope, and you know.